talk for a moment about Amish women and the head covering, the big white caps that they wear on their head. Amish and Mennonite women. Why do they wear those head coverings? 1 Corinthians 11 talks about women having their heads covered to pray and prophesy. Now, to me, that scripture is not very clear on exactly what it's talking about. And I went over that scripture so many times, trying to figure out exactly what he's saying. Some people interpret it as your long hair is your covering. Amish and Mennonites obviously interpret it that you have to wear a big covering on your head. So they have to wear the covering all the time. Like we even wore a little veil on our heads to sleep. Because their theory is you have to always be ready to pray or prophesy, right? Pray, basically. Now here's where an inconsistency comes in, because the men wear hats. So the men don't always have to be ready to pray? Doesn't make sense. But anyway, that's their rule. They have to wear a head covering all the time so that they're ready to pray. Now, and they make a huge doctrine out of it. Like, literally, some of them think that if they wouldn't wear a covering, they're going to go to hell. When I left the Amish and the Mennonites and I quit wearing my head covering all the time, I had my niece write me a letter, and she's like questioning my salvation at this point, right? And she wasn't even Amish. She was conservative Mennonite. But that's how much they put into this. Like, we had a Sunday school class once where we were discussing this back when I was Amish. And the question came up, can you make it to heaven without wearing the head covering? The answer that our teacher finally came up with was, if a woman is not born into an Amish or Mennonite home and she's not taught that, then she can probably make it to heaven without wearing a head covering. But since we're taught better, it's a serious sin and you wouldn't make it to heaven. So that's how much value they place on the head covering. So when I left the Amish and Mennonites, we were still in that culture for a while. Everybody still wore a head covering. And then we had a pastor from India come to our church. Now, he taught that you only had to wear it for church and have your head completely covered. So that's what I did for a number of years. I just covered my head with this big veil for church. So when I finally left all of that, we were in just a non-denominational church. I saw all these godly women in church, and I'm like, none of them are having their heads covered. So it took me into this questioning, like, what exactly is this scripture? Why is it just the Amish and Mennonites are wearing the head covering and they make it so important? I wrestled over that scripture for so many months, like questioning God, what exactly does the scripture mean? And I finally came to the place where it was so much turmoil in my mind that I was just like, God, please show me.